I don't know how many of you remember it, but do you guys remember the TV show? It was like Fear Factor. And so, the contestants would do crazy things for money. So, like, you could eat roaches that were alive. So, it's the fact that you're doing something that's absolutely insane for the potential chance of a financial reward. And in a way, WWE 2K26 is kind of like that, but it's the exact opposite. You're spending money for the chance to get some sort of in-game reward, but here's the kicker: you might not get it. So instead of potentially winning a couple of $1,000s and getting fame from a TV show, you might go viral for being a moron who spent $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000 on MyFaction cards and didn't get the single card that they were trying to get. Wow, isn't that just an outrageously what is the word they use for WrestleMania? Stupendous, spectacular idea? No, but if you wonder why I just pretty much said all of that hoopla, it's because we have more news for WWE 2K26's MyFaction game mode. So if you remember, I think last week I dropped a video discussing about how a lot of the cover superstars for like the Attitude Era edition, the whole Monday Night War edition, they are locked behind paywalls in MyFaction. Like Booker T01. A lot of the cards that I mentioned in that video that weren't the actual like Attitude Era cards, like how I mentioned John Cena 2020, the Cody Rhodes WrestleMania 41 from last year, that were either free in the game at some point or were DLC that like you have to now pay for. Well, 2K has officially dropped the live events for these cards, and so we can now see the outrageous requirements in order to get them. But just like always, timestamps will be in the description below, and because before we jump into that, we have a little bit of MyFaction news, because shout out to the infamous 2K dev Brian. Brian has put out some more tweets giving us some more information on live events and some of the persona cards, so we're just going to go ahead and start with that first. And again, timestamps will be in the description below, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that Brian said was, he said, ooh, the googly eye emoji. He said live events and upcoming. We weren't able to make all persona live events permanent, not as simple as I had hoped/planned, but the old ones from March through April will be back to run on August 2nd. Which, first off, it's May 1st. You mean to tell me that if I missed out on some of these events to get some of these cards, I have to wait until August? What? He said the 4 live events pictured in the last 3 trifecta are coming up. He said also requirement cards for boss battles will be lighter in May. And then the next thing he said, he just sent this out this morning. He said those 18 live events to bring back old personas aren't, however, repeat, they aren't the only live events in May. We have number games 65 through 69, Smash and Stash, Q&S Smash and Stash, 4 Superstar of the Month events, 12 birthday bashes that are going to have packs and MyFaction points, 3 new featured presentations, the last 3 trifecta, and 4 boss battles. I'm not trying to be a nagging kind of person. I keep saying this because I do want to be a fair person. I don't want to be too hard on these guys. But what do you mean it's not as easy as you had hoped or planned for? Here's a crazy idea, right? How about instead of doing this nonsense where you have to gamble in a video game for something that should just be offline content, how about we use our brains? What if we actually put this type of stuff in the ringside pass? But you know what? At the end of the day, we just gotta simply face the facts that common sense no longer exists. I guarantee you, if I said that in front of the 2K Take-Two Interactive board members, they would probably look at me like I was a moron. What do you mean put it in the ringside pass? You mean give it out for free? I like, dude, at a certain point, it gets to a whole new level of what the hell is going on. Stone Cold Steve Austin says, give me a hell yeah. 2K says, give me your damn wallet. I'm saying, like, what are we doing? What do you mean you don't know? It wasn't as easy as you had hoped. Huh? We're gonna need more of an explanation on that, because the math ain't math. And the math up for you when you want me to bust open that bank account. You want me to throw a couple 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 80s, and 100s. But when it comes time for you to to fix something, to extend something that will benefit the players, then all of a sudden we can't get it to work. That don't make sense, bro. That don't. And you know what, at this point, since we're sitting here discussing about how much money 2K wants you to open up to spend, let's go ahead and get into the main attraction. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, and some of the videos I made recently, when the news would come out about these specific new cards, I would mention them. But now 2K has sort of released them, I guess, so we can see what it takes to get them. And the requirements, it's just ridiculous. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this one. You want Kurt Angle 2000. In order to get Kurt Angle 2000, you need Randy Orton 09. And so I know you're probably asking the question, well, how do I get Randy Orton 09? And I gotta tell you this, I hope you either are incredibly lucky or just incredibly rich. Because in order to get Randy Orton 09, you need Brock, you need Dominic, you need Chelsea, you need Grayson Waller from the locked in pack. Because Randy Orton 09, he's basically the collection set reward. And then we're gonna move on to the very next card. And guess what? You're gonna see a very common theme here. So in order to get Liv Morgan 2024, you're going to need Jade Cargill, specifically Unbreakable Jade Cargill. And so in order to get her, you're going to have Cody Rhodes, CM Punk Retro, John Cena 2003, AJ Styles, Kalani Jordan 23, Becky Lynch Victoria, and the legend badass Billy Gunn himself. Specifically, you need them from the Undeniable pack because, as you pretty much guessed it, Jade is the collection set reward. And then so we have another CM Punk persona. You want to get the AJ Lee's husband version of CM Punk, you are going to really need to open up their wallet. So in order to get the AJ Lee's husband version of Punk, you're going to need 09 Orton, you're going to need the 97 Rock, you're going to need Ron Cena, and then the previously mentioned Undeniable Jade Cargill. And so in order to get the 97 Rock, you need Roman Reigns, LA Knight, Gargano, Chosen. Specifically, you need them from the WrestleMania Vegas Pack Volume 2, because guess what? He is the collection set reward. And if you really want to know what's even crazier about that, in order to get Ron Cena, you need Jacob Fatu, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquera, John Cena, the 2020 NWO iteration, Tiffany Stratton, Booker T01, JD, and Alba Fire. Like, it's just stupid. And so if you're specifically trying to get the Jade Cargill Saturday Night Main Event 2025 card, you're going to need Liv Morgan 24, Cody Rhodes WrestleMania 41, AJ Styles Retro, and Kurt Angle 2000. But here's another issue. The AJ Styles Retro card, that live event, it's expired. And like we discussed at the beginning of the video, like 2K Dale Bryan said, those expired Persona live events, they won't be coming back until August. It's May 1st. And so you have to look at it from this whole point of view of, if you keep making all of these excuses, how do we know that by the time August comes? Because let's face it, the Jade Cargill Saturday Night Main Event, that live event is going to have been to, it's going to be expired by then. How do we know that by the time we get to August, we won't be hearing that, well guys, bit of an update, the switch to turn this stuff back on, it's still not that easy or like we planned. So if you want the Jade Cargill card, you're gonna have to wait until November 2nd. Like, dude, again, man, why not just put this stuff into the ringside pass? Seriously. And then something that I feel is like a huge issue with this and my faction is the other day I opened up 20 packs. I'll say that out of those 20, 17 were like the actual ones, they were like Legends, Undeniable, like the actual headlining packs, I guess to refer to it as. And I say that out of those 17, I think I had 3 or 4 of the actual headlining cards. And remember, I got these for free. I got these based out of stuff from the ringside pass, which I used my faction points to get, or I just got like the actual packs from the pass. And so if I only managed to get 3 to 4 cards out of 17, imagine just how long it would take you to even get one collection set reward. And I've seen people on Twitter be like, it's not that hard, I got them. And the question is like, yeah, how much money did you spend? Bro, I'm not finna give these people a couple of $100, a couple of $1,000 to not even be guaranteed. Even if I was guaranteed to get the card I'm trying to get, that would still be stupid. So the fact that you aren't even guaranteed, why are you spending that money? Like, are you just a millionaire? But you know, I just gotta be real. I don't know how anyone can actually seriously play my faction. The only reason I even play my faction is to just complete the ringside pass, because it's the quickest way. You know, you play a live event, you play a weekly tower, you get a ton of XP if you pop the double RXP tokens. So if you were just genuinely playing this mode, I'm honestly curious to why. Because this mode is just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a moron who's sitting here yapping non-stop. But either way, man, this your first time stopping by the channel, go ahead and get that leg ready. Go ahead and do a couple of steps, do a couple of taps, do a doot 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 doot. Go ahead and tune up the band, because I want you to hit that like button with the meanest, and I mean I want you to hit it with the meanest sweet chin music that you could possibly deliver. And then I want you to pick up that subscribe button. I want you to hoist it onto your shoulders. We ain't doing no attitude adjustment. I want you to take him, throw him into the air, and I want you to catch him with a knee and hit that subscribe button with a GTS, man. Shout out to the BITW, shout out to CM Punk. But let me know your thoughts on all of this nonsense, all of this madness in the comment section below, because again, this is just, it's, man, the fall from grace has truly been insane. I knew way back in 2K22 when they added my faction that it was going to be nothing but trouble, and we have reached a whole new low. But either way, man, your boy finna go ahead and sign out. Take care of yourself, man. Your boy, he's signing out. Peace.